This UFC 269 breakdown presented by Taki Snacks. Face the intensity. Welcome to CBS Sports combat analyst and co-host of the award-winning show Morning Combat, Brian Campbell. Morning Combat winning best MMA program at the World MMA Awards. Some would say it was an upset. Wink, wink. Speaking of upsets, Amanda Nunes gets beat by Julianna Peña, one of the biggest upsets in MMA history. Peña wins the bantamweight title. The last time Nunes lost a fight was in 2014. Another fighter, BC, actually made Nunes tap.
I don't believe what I just saw, to steal a famous catchphrase before. Sitting here tonight, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, this was one of the more exciting and unpredictable UFC cards in some time. But to see the GOAT, the greatest female fighter to ever step in there, the two-division champion, riding a 12-fight win streak against a who's who of women's MMA history, to lose in this fashion, you had to have a superhuman performance. And that's what Julianna Peña ultimately had coming in, with the chin, with the level of determination. I mean, when you have that type of determination and can use that as a superpower, I didn't think it was going to be enough to overcome everything she was lacking in a head-to-head stance against Nunes. But she took the big shots from the biggest puncher in the game and just kept coming until she wore the greatest of all time down, took her back, and choked her out. When you consider Peña was just 2-2 over the last 6 years heading into this fight, it was easy for Vegas, for anyone, to have this one as a quick knockout on their prediction coming in. Yet this is why we fight the fights. Even the greatest of all time could have a weakness. Julianna Peña found that weakness.
On Morning Combat, you and Luke hinted that this could happen. I don't understand how it happened. Explain what we saw, because Amanda Nunes is the greatest fighter in women's MMA history, and she just lost a fight. She hadn't lost in 7 years.
Well, it's the way that she lost. On top of that, she got lured into a war against somebody who wouldn't go away. And then, look, to Peña's credit, I'd never seen that level of striking out of her. Accurate, hard shots. Yes, she had to eat everything the greatest of all time had, yet she walked through it. But I think this upset has a lot more to do with what Julianna Peña had inside that she had never been able to show before. The reason why I came on Morning Combat, despite the optimism of my colleague Luke Thomas, and saying, can't find an avenue to victory for Peña, she was never a big puncher. Yes, she's competent on the ground and in some cases exceptional, and she used that grappling advantage against Nunes and made this fight difficult throughout. But we never saw Peña, or really any fighter in these weight divisions, stand up to Amanda Nunes' best shots and keep coming. That was the key. That's what led to the implosion. What does a great fighter do that can be a bully at times? And that's one of Nunes' strengths, when suddenly they become the bully due to stamina in a crash like that. We've never seen Amanda Nunes go through this. We've also never seen Julianna Peña have a victory even close to this level. Does she get this title shot because she can talk a good game? Or does she get it because Amanda Nunes had already finished everyone else? It doesn't matter anymore. She had her moment, and like Holly Holm, and probably the upset you can most compare this to in terms of gravity, when she head kicked Ronda Rousey in 2015, we did not see that one coming either.
Yeah, second largest underdog to win a women's title fight in UFC history, the Venezuelan vixen, Julianna Peña, at plus 600. The other one, as you mentioned, Holly Holm defeating Ronda Rousey in 2015. That was a plus 900 underdog. And this loss snaps a 12-fight win streak for Amanda Nunes. Another streak, meantime, continues. A 10-fight win streak for Charles Oliveira, and he extends his UFC record with a 15th win via submission, forcing Dustin Poirier to tap in the third round. What did Charlie Olives just prove?
He proved that he's not only one of the best fighters in the world and the best lightweight in the post-Khabib Nurmagomedov era, but that he's not done getting better. This is a scary, scary mixed martial artist, a bad dude to the extreme. We knew Oliveira could submit you at any time. We knew he had the record for most submissions, most finishes in UFC history. But what we did not know about Charles Oliveira was whether he had the dog inside of him to go 5 rounds against somebody as battle-tested as Dustin Poirier, who was looked at as the uncrowned champion coming in. So this win streak for Oliveira, which has seen the gamut from some journeyman level wins to finally some elite ones on the back end. He's gotten better with leaps and bounds. He took a beating in round 1 against Poirier. Oliveira was dropped twice. They were back and forth. It was an incredibly high-paced round and one of the most action-packed in championship history. But to see the adjustment Oliveira made and in rounds 2 and 3 until the stoppage, absolutely dominated Dustin Poirier on the ground, in the standing grappling, and to put himself into position. He was relentless, Oliveira, but he had to walk through some heck to get there, and that's what champions are made of. So to waste, now in hindsight, a lot of this narrative talking about what a win would have meant for Poirier's surefire Hall of Fame career, how about we put some respect on the name of Charlie Olives? Charles Oliveira is not going anywhere anytime soon atop this division.
Yeah, he's an absolute beast. Again, continues to extend his record, most submissions in UFC history with 15. Both of Poirier's fights for the undisputed title ended via rear naked choke. What's next for him?
It's going to be tough. He's still just 32, yet even with this loss, he's got one of the best resumes of the modern era. There's no question about that, and he once held the interim title. But can he go back to the drawing board? He did that, by the way, just 2 years ago when he had his first full undisputed title shot against Khabib Nurmagomedov and was absolutely dominated in a fashion similar to what we saw Oliveira do against him in rounds 2 and 3 on Saturday night. Yet what did Poirier do? He went back to the grind. He outlasted Dan Hooker in a 5-round war, and then he went after Conor McGregor twice and became the first to knock him out, and he ended up with 2 TKO victories to become a massive crossover star and get this title shot. I'm not going to count him out on staying in this division and trying to climb that ladder once more, because he has shown us an adaptability, a toughness level that has been next level. But make no mistake about it, this wasn't a close loss. This was a dominant one. Charles Oliveira made a statement, and I don't think Khabib Nurmagomedov's coming through that door anytime soon. But Oliveira's starting to show you. He's the one guy, along with Tony Ferguson, we didn't get to see against Khabib, but he's showing a knack for finishes where, wouldn't you love it if Uncle Khabib can make one more run back to the cage? Don't, it's not going to happen here, okay? I'm telling you, it's not going to happen.
You know, right there, it's right, you inject it into my veins, as you say, all the time, right? Charles Oliveira retains the lightweight title, and a big weekend for him. A big weekend for you and Luke Thomas. Morning Combat wins Best MMA Program at the World MMA Awards. Congratulations, and as a loyal listener, you said it could happen. Luke wasn't as optimistic. What does it mean to you to be honored like this?
It means that we've got some awesome fans, because this was a fan-voted event. We're up against Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier, Ariel Helwani, Dana White himself, and some UFC-produced programs. And CBS Sports and Showtime's little engine that could, Morning Combat, found a way to convince this aggressive, amazing fan base to go to bat for us. Hats off to them. Thank you. Humbled. Hashtag humbled, as they say, Hakeem. What a moment it was Friday night in Las Vegas.
Yeah, have a day, kid. I mean, you guys looked great. I'm so proud of you guys for all the hard work you put in and week out. Again, Morning Combat, one of the best listens in all of sports. It really is a lot of fun, and what a fun weekend it was for you and Luke Thomas. BC, appreciate the breakdown here, UFC 269 in Vegas.
Thank you.
And for all things combat, check out the award-winning Morning Combat with Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell. Again, Morning Combat winning Best MMA Program at the World MMA Awards. You can watch the series on YouTube. You can also listen to the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Morning Combat. Download and subscribe today.